coming up, right? Let's get into the debate. I'm sorry, long-winded that whole Trump introduction. The debate, it will be, I think, 90 minutes. He's going to do what he's going to do. Hillary, I don't think she'll make the whole 90 minutes. There's no breaks, there's no bathroom breaks, there's no coffee breaks, there's no intermission. They're both on the stage at the same time. She won't make it through the pressure of the, well, not just of the event, but of Trump. That's some pressure. And her medical condition. She won't make it. She can't do 90 minutes. She'll have to be sitting there. And I don't see it. I don't see her going 90 minutes. I think she'll show up. She can't, you can't, you're running for president. You cannot, oh, I'm not going to be able to make it, so I'm going to Skype it. So, let the people know that I'm going to Skype. I won't make it to the actual event. I'll Skype it in, though. It's something like that won't work. You have to show up. You're a presidential candidate. You must show strength. Not the strength in the context of I'm big, I'm strong, I fight whoever. You have to show up. You have to be confident. What is it? A confident strength. Like, she can barely stand at times. She has coughing fits from her quote-unquote pneumonia. You can't. Trump's a wrecking ball. It's not even fair. He does event after event after event, flying here, landing here. Oh, let's go to Louisiana. Oh, let's go to Mexico. Oh, let's talk to these foreign leaders from here. Oh, let's talk to these foreign leaders from here. He's not even in office. He's running for office. So, I don't know what she's going to do. And as far as track records, because I know the announcer's going to have questions directed to both candidates, and they can both feed off the questions that's given. Like, yeah, the last question, well, Mr. Trump, what about such and such? And he can do the same thing. Well, what about such and such, Hillary? But her track record is so deplorable. He doesn't. I think he'll get into certain questions that the announcer may ask, and then he'll dare I say no, I'll say that he'll veggie back his answer with a little bit of, hey, did you know this about Hillary? Did you know this about the Clinton Foundation? Did you know this about these ladies that were raped? Did you know about this little girl that she was supposed to have defended a gentleman who, from the evidence, clearly was guilty until evidence got disposed of. And Hillary, you also said that you couldn't trust a polygraph any longer. What about that? And there's so much stuff he could just throw into, like, hey, let's go into this. What about this? What about that? What about that? He couldn't do it all within the time frame, the 90-minute time frame, if they gave him 90 minutes alone to speak on the other candidate. So she's not looking too good. Now, a person with a person who thinks and says, let me research this, let me check this. Oh, let me Google search this. Oh, let me check a news site or media site. Let me see the facts, and then I'll make a decision. I would hypothetically think that they pretty much know some of the stuff I've already stated, and they're pretty sure on their decision that they will make when they go to vote or cast their ballot. But that's what makes tomorrow's election very, very important, because of the audience. It's going to be 100 million, possibly, people tuning in, and some people who haven't paid any attention to the campaign on both sides, or maybe they don't pay attention to the news at all. But I think a lot of people will tune in for the first time or second or third time and pay attention and really get a feel for both the candidates, and that's international as well. So it's a very, very major event. I didn't, because weeks and months ago, I was like, well, Trump's a shoo-in. This is just a waste of time waiting for the election. I already know what the outcome is going to be. But this is going to be a really big event tomorrow because a lot of people who are, dare I say, novice to both candidates are really going to get a full idea of the person that they may or may not vote for. So it's going to be a really good event. She doesn't stand a chance. It's saddening. She doesn't stand a chance. But yeah, that's enough of the deplorables. It was just a little thing where I was going to play it, but I don't know if I should play it. It's from a scene from Anchorman, and Ron Burgundy, he will pretty much read whatever they put on the teleprompter, and that's Hillary Clinton. She will read pretty much anything that is shown on the teleprompter or spoken through her earpiece, so on and so forth. Same thing with the prostitutes. I don't even want to call them media. Before, some time ago, weeks ago, months ago, maybe even a year ago, the mainstream media, quote unquote, they would put out stories or try to lean the, the common idea a certain way and give a biased opinion. But now they just lie, and it's blatant lies. It's like, oh, I went outside at 1 p.m. in the afternoon, and the sky was black. And you're like, what? You sure it wasn't 1 a.m.? No, it was 1 p.m. Like, wait, if it was 1 p.m. in the afternoon, it couldn't have been black. It may have been blue, sky blue, powder blue. You could have said it was blue. There was a yellow globe spear, or there were clouds, and it was like white, and it looked, I don't know what to call it, like scattered white clouds or blots on a baby blue background with a fiery gold globe in the sky. Okay, that sounds about right. But it wasn't black. Maybe it was 1 a.m. Like 1 a.m. Yeah, the sky probably looked black at 1 a.m. There may have been a moon. It could have been a full moon. It could have been a quarter moon. It could have been a crescent moon. No. Maybe you were at a different elevation. Maybe you had you were in an area where there wasn't a lot of pollution or chemicals in the air, and you got a really clear sky, and it was like, well, the sky was black, and then it were like white polka dots, a lot of them. I was like, oh, okay, wait, but maybe you were at a higher elevation, like, I don't know, the Mogollon Rim, the Sedona, or Flagstaff. Maybe you were there, and it was like, I don't know, it was just like a open cloud of skies, and they seemed to be rotating in a motion, but it was like a line of polka dots, and they were rotating as if they were circling something in the sky, and they were different colors, and it wasn't all black. It seemed to be mesmerizing. I was like, oh, okay. Yes, that was the Milky Way. But the prostitutes, they just say backwards stuff like, yes, 1 p.m. in the afternoon, the sky was black. And for example, oh, Hillary just stumbled. Like, she stumbled, she fell out. Like, if three people, one on one arm, one on the other arm, and a lady covering her upper back, shoulders, or underarms and back area, she would have fell on her face. That is not presidential material. Leaders, heads of governments, of companies, I would look at that and I would see weakness. They're looking at and they see weakness. Let alone, well, I'm not going to get to Hillary. I was going to say, let alone the scandals, Clinton Foundation, email scandals, not even call it scandals, evidence of massive law breaking, de jure and de facto law breaking, or policy breaking, excuse me. But they just blatantly lie, and it's like some people in positions, they would be better off just telling the truth. They don't have to give their opinion or try and create something out of nothing. Just here it is. I came out. It was 1 p.m. The sky was blue. The sky was cloudy. You know, people take that information and do with it as they will. Okay, well, they said it was partly cloudy, or they said the sky was blue. I guess I don't need this umbrella today. Oh, they said Hillary Clinton collapsed for unknown reasons. Well, maybe we should take a little bit more interest into this this election, so we can make a good choice on who we're going to vote for, right? But it's like the press, they're creating, or excuse me, they're helping to create a dam. You know, to what end, we could only see, but they're definitely doing that. And the same thing goes for, just go to Drudge. The same thing goes for the press in regard to the quote unquote protesting, which is really, it's a riot. There's a difference between a protest and a riot. Like, and that's from coast to coast. Whenever whenever someone is shot and or killed also by law enforcement, by we call it peace officers, police officers, there's an uproar, and then there's an agitated uproar. But you know, I brought this up a couple of days ago when I was at day labor to a couple of gentlemen who were complaining about the same thing I'm talking about right now. They were complaining about quote unquote African Americans being shot and also killed. And then I brought up Chicago, and that's all I said. I said, what about Chicago? He said, what? I said, what about Chicago? And he said, I'm from Chicago. That's my hometown. I said, how's Chicago doing? Shut right up. Couldn't say nothing. But all this, then before that he said, yeah, this is Chicago, that's my hometown, where somebody might pull up on you and, you know, pop. And I'm like, that's not a good thing, right? Shut right up. But it's like you'll complain about quote unquote African Americans being shot and killed, but you won't go to Chicago. You won't talk about Chicago. And that's just one city. There are more cities where quote unquote African Americans die by quote unquote African Americans and other African Americans, quote unquote, in some cases, or just any person from whatever, you know, nation you hail from, whatever your nationality may be, whatever your stands may be, your political stands, your just how you choose to carry yourself. You being wrongfully killed is a big thing. It's a problem. Is whether it's one or was a couple thousand, so Chicago like a couple thousand, that should be a key issue. That should be a key issue for the media. That should be a key issue for the quote unquote said government, the said officials. But it's just like, oh, it's just protesting. It's no big deal. Or then if you talk about Chicago, it doesn't even get airplay. They don't speak about that. And it's you can if you're not privy to the information I'm privy to, then I really can't say you should know better. But for the people who know that most of this is Soros funded, you know, to the tunes of quote unquote, Black Lives Matters, is Soros funded to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars. And that's in articles as well. You could just do a Google word search and see who's funding some of these, I guess anarchy is a good word, but I'll just say lawlessness. And I really don't know how to push through to people. Like, not push through, but to bring it to their attention. Now, when I brought Chicago up to the two gentlemen that I was speaking to, they shut right up. They didn't want to speak no more about it. Like, dealing with the facts was like, damn, excuse me. Like, I guess I never thought about that. I never thought about it like that, right? But I don't know how you can push that to general public, to bring it to their attention, to maybe have them see it that way. Some people will, some people won't. Some people are caught up in this, I'm a victim and I'm gonna always be a victim. Not, at least I would hope they would be thinking, okay, even if you think you're a victim, all right, well, maybe I should find a different venue, a different plan, a different method of getting out of this victim status, you know? But we'll have to see what happens. I hope I went somewhere with that, but that's just what I was thinking about. What else? And that's another reason why the Trump campaign, the movement, should I say, on a lawful and political stance is important to some people. I can't speak on how many, but to some people it's important. No one else is standing up. I'm talking about quote unquote people with authority or assumed authority and the said government, and that's said quote unquote government. It's like they're all out to lunch. Like, you know, Congress is out to lunch. Like, they went out to lunch with no date of return. Like, we're adjourned, but we have no date to come back. Oh, are we finished? Yes, you're finished. It's like they don't speak on stuff that I would think would matter more, or find resolutions to things that matter more. When people are in need, our quote unquote president doesn't show until days later. Trump goes. What does that say? Trump goes straight down there. What does that say? Oh yeah, Hillary was invited to Mexico. She didn't show. What does that say? What does it say when branches of law enforcement, they tend, or at least as far as I can see, I don't know the inner workings or anything like that, but from what I can see, they choose not to, or are told not to, stand up for their quote unquote law enforcement. And that's, just look at the events that are going on. You think there would be a more backing up, or more unity, as in, hey, you know what? I'm such and such from Washington, and I want to speak to the sheriff. I want to speak to the chief. I want to speak to, you know, just go down the list. And we're going to try and find how we can bring a resolution to this. Or, I'm the president. I want to speak to the quote unquote citizens. I want to speak to them and find a way to bring to a resolution. Like, I don't want to place the blame all on police, and I don't want to place the blame all on the public, the citizens, civilians. But we need to find a way to bring this to an end. Hopefully, again, it sounds. I hope that doesn't sound like a dream. Like that's you're naive. Like, you know what, Mr. Bay, it sounds good, but I don't see it happening. I hope that I would hope that someone would say, let's do that. Let's give it a try. Let's give it a shot. Let's attempt to stop all this division and bring people together. At least people who want to come together and want to live in peace and want to be prosperous and don't want to don't want to get into beefs, or quote unquote, war, or we call it anarchy against the people who protect you, or against the people that you may protect. And it's throwing out a lot of bad, dare I say, bad vibes. And you know, fools will believe anything. Smart people tend to stray away from it. But I don't know. It's a hard thing to, I guess, to combat, because all I have is an idea, and at least I hope people would share their ideas with people who they think may take effect to it, or you know, come up with their own ideas and then try to put that into effect. But yeah, there it is. Where's I gonna go now? Yeah, it was Trump, Hillary, top of the radar. As far as, again, economics, the state of the country, the people who are in positions that you would think would be doing more, they're not doing as much as I would hope for. So it's really, at this point, it's like I'm waiting on Trump. I'm waiting on somebody else, because the people who are supposed to be doing stuff, it ain't working. And again, it's not like they were in that position to change the world or change the country, but I think they were in a position to help the country be in a better state, quote unquote, than it is right now. But we'll just have to see when Trump gets in office. He's a shoo-in. Where is this? Okay, let's go off Drudge. I hope I don't get in trouble for going to his site, but debate of the century gets wilder, of course. Pressure on Clinton, Trump, I don't know. Air mics, possibly. Hopefully they'll check her. 100 million views, yes. Jennifer Flowers, she wants to come. Paula Jones, oh my gosh. I said, you know what, he'll probably have them come up to the one of the debates, but I figured it would be one of the later debates. It wouldn't be the first debate. But I guess so. If they come, that'll really knock it out of the park. That'll really knock out, or excuse me, put up front her character, the type of person she is. Because we already know their proposed policy. You can go to Trump's website. I guess you could go to Hillary's website. I don't even need to go. But maybe someone may want to check out her website or the Democratic Party website and see what their proposed policies may be. You can go on Trump's site and get his proposed policy. At least he's proposing what he wants to do, or he's going to try and do, and it sounds phenomenal. Hillary, her policy she speaks on in the speeches I've heard is garbage. It was garbage before if I was to black out all the stuff that Trump said, her policies are still garbage to me. But then you bring Trump's policies along, and it's like, oh, well, of course I'm going to go with him. What? So I guess this will really be more for Hillary. The debate will be more of a judgment of character, even though I have a good idea what her character is. But for the 100 million plus viewers, they're going to see her character. I'm sure she's going to lie, and her lies will be quickly exposed, quickly brought to the attention of the people. And I can foresee the prostitutes are going to do a lot of lying the day after. A lot of it. It's going to be probably one of their best attempts to spin the truth, to somehow spin that Trump lost. He can't lose this debate. You can't. I don't even think I watched a couple of like Hannity. That's what I really like on Fox. Hannity and Judge. I forget her name. And